Episode 3: The Evidence They Ignored. The call came in just after 6:40 a.m. A woman reported that she hadn't seen her neighbor for 3 days. That alone wasn't unusual. People disappear all the time. They miss work. They leave town. They don't answer their phones. But something about this call stood out. The woman said the lights in the apartment were still on, day and night. The missing man was named Lucas Hale, 36 years old. Single. No criminal record. He worked as a warehouse supervisor on the night shift. According to his employer, he never missed a shift. Never arrived late. Never left early. Until he didn't show up at all. Officers arrived at the apartment at 7:22 a.m. The door was locked. No damage to the frame. No broken windows. They entered using a spare key provided by the building manager. Inside, everything looked normal. The bed was made. Dishes were clean. No signs of a struggle. Lucas's wallet was on the kitchen counter. Keys beside it. Phone charging in the bedroom. What caught their attention was the clock. It had stopped. The hands frozen at 2:17 a.m. An officer noted it in the report. Then moved on. In the bathroom, they found something else. The shower floor was wet. Not damp. Wet. As if it had been used recently. But the water was cold. The drain was clear. No towels were missing. It didn't make sense. Still, no crime was declared. The case was logged as a welfare check. Later that afternoon, Lucas's sister arrived from out of town. She told police something important. Lucas had called her 2 nights earlier. At 2:14 a.m. He sounded nervous. Distracted. He said he thought someone was inside his apartment. Police asked why she hadn't called immediately. She said he told her not to. He said it was probably nothing, she explained. He didn't want to overreact. That detail was added to the file. But the case status didn't change. There were no signs of forced entry. No evidence of violence. No witnesses. The building's security footage was reviewed the next day. The cameras showed Lucas entering the building at 1:58 a.m. Alone. He never left. No one else was seen entering his floor for the rest of the night. The footage stopped recording at 2:20 a.m. A technical error. It resumed automatically at 6 a.m. This was noted. Then filed. 3 days later, the apartment was officially cleared. Lucas was listed as voluntarily missing. His case was transferred to a lower priority unit. 2 weeks later, a maintenance worker reported a smell. It was coming from the ceiling of the apartment below Lucas's. Police returned to the building. They opened the ceiling panel. What they found ended the investigation immediately. Lucas Hale's body was discovered inside a narrow maintenance space between floors. The space was never meant to be accessed from inside an apartment. There was no ladder. No opening. No documented access point. The medical examiner determined the cause of death as asphyxiation. Time of death, approximately 2:20 a.m. The same time the security footage stopped. The same time the clock froze. Investigators re-examined the apartment. This time, they noticed something they had missed before. A small panel above the bathroom ceiling. Painted over. Blended perfectly into the surface. Behind it was the access point to the maintenance space. The panel could only be opened from inside the apartment. And it had been closed. Carefully. From the outside. Lucas had not fallen. He had been placed. The investigation was reopened. Too late. The person responsible was never identified. No fingerprints. No DNA. No witnesses. In the final report, one sentence stood out. A sentence that explained everything. It read, "The initial responding officers did not inspect the ceiling due to lack of visible indicators. One detail. One overlooked space. One decision made too quickly. Lucas Hale didn't vanish. He was there the entire time. Above them. While they stood in his apartment. While they wrote their notes. while they decided there was nothing to see. Sometimes, justice doesn't fail because of evil. Sometimes, it fails because no one looked up. In the months that followed, the case quietly disappeared. No press conferences. No public updates. No explanations. The file was moved to storage. Then archived. Then forgotten. Officially, there was nothing more to investigate. No evidence of a struggle. No witnesses. No reason to reopen the case. Just an empty timeline. Emma kept her brother's phone. She never erased the last call. Never deleted the voicemail that followed. Never turned the sound off completely. Sometimes, late at night, she thought she heard something. Not a voice. Not words. Just breathing. Slow. Uneven. Too close to the microphone. She told herself it was imagination. A memory replaying itself. Grief filling the silence. But then, 1 year later, it happened again. October 4th. 9:12 p.m. Her phone vibrated once. No number. No caller ID. No record in the system. Just 1 second. Then nothing. The same thing happened the following year. And the year after that. Always the same date. Always the same time. Always just one vibration. Emma stopped answering unknown calls. Stopped keeping her phone on the nightstand. Stopped sleeping with the lights off. Because some questions don't want answers. They want attention. And sometimes, the most frightening thing isn't being followed. It's realizing that something knows. You're still listening,